for it. So.
But I just, like I said, at the end of the day, I just look at this whole, part-time player thing, and I'm just like, man, that's crazy. I never see now. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. But I say to myself, when he comes back, how will it affect the team's chemistry? And then on top of that, how far can the Nets go with him in and out of the lineup?
Yeah.
Like, can they like make it actually work? Maybe they've been doing things behind the scenes, practice wise on, all right, well, hey, listen, matchup wise, hey, we're playing against, Golden State. So, hey, listen, Kyrie, we may need you because, defensively, you can probably check, Steph.
Yeah, you can go toe to toe with the best
right?
point guards.
But then when you talk about, a team like San Antonio, all right, hey, listen, all right, Kyrie, you can just take the day off.
Yeah.
Those are playing against San Antonio. All right, cool. Those sort of things, okay, if that works out for them that way, then okay. But outside of that, it's like, how does that actually work?
The only good I see out of this part-time is mitigates its risk injury.
True.
That's the only good I see out of this.
And listen, that's a big, good. Why? Because, he has been known to get some injuries. Nothing too severe. They've all been like minor injuries here and there, but enough to where it keeps him out a game or two, a couple of games. But now you're talking about being part-time. Now that injury level goes down, and I'm not getting injured as much because I'm not having yes, I may have to play hard against a team like Phoenix, against a team like, Miami. However, it's not that hard to where, once again, I playing today, I can't get rest tomorrow because I got to play against another game tomorrow. And then, Wednesday I'm off. No, well, today I play, tomorrow I don't play because I'm part-time, and then come back, later on in that week to play. If I got 3 games in a week, I play 2 games, then I'm good. And that like I said, it'll help him out to, reduce his injuries.
One thing I gotta say is Kyrie got the best part-time job ever.
Hey,
get paid millions of dollars to be a part-time baller.
Listen, that's crazy. I wonder, are they gonna is his contract, or at least his pay for this year, his salary for this year, going to reflect? Because if not,
I heard he's only gonna get paid for road games. That's what I heard from the reports.
Well, then shoot, that's still good. I mean, I just think about what some of these dudes get paid per game, per minute. Like
some of these players getting paid $500,000.
$500,000.
Or some of them were making a couple of bills a game.
Like a game, bro. I wish
that's part-time job.
That's the best part-time job ever, man. But that's what, once again, that's not just him in that sense. You also talk about just like people who are catching the cocoa. Like it's really changed up a lot of things. So I just wonder what more will, how much more will this COVID, thing affect, the league.
I think it's gonna be here for the long haul, to be honest.
And that sucks. Why? Because players want to play, fans want to be in the stands to watch the games. We want to go back to some sense of normalcy, and we thought we were. But now with this new variant, it's like, hey, well, no, sorry, y'all got a little bit too comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing. Let me not say great thing. No, let me not say great thing. I think it's something that we should continuously be prepared for, anyways, because when you're talking about going to certain venues, going to certain events, and you got or going to certain Travis Scott's concerts, and you got millions of people at these events
that potentially vaccinated, not vaccinated.
And they are not forget the whole COVID thing, right? You just got all these people on top of each other. Just imagine all of the germs, all of the disgustingness that's just floating around, and you just spitting in people's face, talking in people's face. It's like, that's nasty. COVID coming has opened up a lot of people's eyes to like, man, this has been going on for years now. And it took for something as deadly as COVID for us to really realize we need to change up how we are.
The whole world had to get shut down.
Bro, for months. And for us to realize, yo, maybe we might want to change up how we do certain things because, yeah, maybe wearing a mask is not as bad. Maybe, you know, I mean, not to say that I'm not gonna lie, I don't faithfully wear a mask. You know, yes, I do need to breathe, but at the end of the day, it's like in certain areas,
I wear it when I can.
right? I'm not gonna lie, at work with kids, I have no problems with wearing a mask. Why? Because some of those kids are a little they're a little special, unsanitary, right? And it's not like they unintentionally do certain things. I see certain kids and like they are intentionally doing certain things. So it's like, I don't want to be around you without a mask, all right?
Sure.
But then it's also one of those things like, yo, for safety, you know, measures, I want to make sure I am able to not bring something to my, you know, kids, my house. I don't want to bring it at home.
I don't want to affect my family.
Exactly, right? So it's like, man, yo, you know, it's a good be a bad thing that thing came along. But, you know, we just talking about, you know, the leagues in general, NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, MMA, like all of these, you know, leagues, like
impacted by the sports, like COVID.
Like how do you continue on without having the best protocol in place? Because we, like you said, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. COVID is here, unfortunately, here to stay
for the long haul.
So how do you go along with, you know, making sure that, hey, listen, we have the best protocols in place to make sure that, hey, listen, our players are safe, our fans are safe, you know, because we want to continue to have these games just keep going on.
So they could get paid, so the league could get paid.
Exactly,
everybody could enjoy the product.
Exactly. You know, so is that going back into what the NBA did? Do they go into a bubble? Like, that's tough. We already know, you know, NFL can't do a bubble. There's 55 players on the team. There's no way you can do a bubble on.
And on top of that, there's NFL teams that has like an open dome, so it's like how that work. Y'all would literally have to empty out the dome and have the players just play, but they're not gonna maximize the money that they could potentially make with a full crowd of people.
Yeah, this bubble only honestly works for. I would see it only work for the NBA. I only see it working for the NHL
and MMA too, because they play.
Well, yeah,
they play. Yeah. You know. I know you don't. I know you don't watch MMA like that, but I can't tell you how many countless times I've seen it. Fights get canceled because a fighter caught COVID.
Listen, I mean, you get, and I can obviously tell you. I mean, it's a one-on-one thing. So, man, if I'm fighting you, and I catch it, then yeah, listen. Who are you going to fight now? Exactly. You can't fight nobody else. So.
Sometimes
the fight has to get canceled.
Sometimes they try to find a replacement, but it doesn't end too well.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, you know, you just look at the NBA, NFL. I mean, listen, they're not going to cancel no games. We'll be able to postpone it. You know, move the schedule around. Why?
A couple of NFL games,
a couple of games just got postponed till Tuesday, and I mean, hopefully they don't go into you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I hope they cancel some games. I'm in fantasy league right now. It's not looking too well for me, so. I hope they cancel just so that my fantasy league can, you know, just yeah. But but you know, the bubble, like, is that a thing? You know, is you know, taking fans out of the stands going to be a thing? Because once again, I mean, that's probably what's going to have to happen to keep from, you know, either canceling, postponing games, or even like what happened. You know, when COVID first came around, shutting things completely down.
There was literally NBA games that was playing right now, and then like referees had to stop the game
and shut everything down. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I seen that with that, you know,
it was a Phoenix, Utah game. I think it was Phoenix with Utah.
Yeah, and they shut. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what is going on?
This is for real.
This the end of the world? Because it was just like. Yeah, the talks of COVID was happening before that, with the whole cruise ship, people not really knowing what was going on with
people
that,
flying out of the country,
right? And nobody not fully knowing what was going on until, all eyes on these NBA games, and now it's like, hey, listen, shut down.
Like that. There was people who flew out to the country. They couldn't even come back to the States.
Yeah, I heard there was a guy, he was out for almost a year because not only obviously, them shutting things down, but then also you talk about him not being able to pass, any of the tests because he just kept getting COVID back,
Wow.
back to back. I think he had caught COVID maybe 6 times back to back. I mean, granted, he was asymptomatic. So it was like, okay, well, he didn't really have any severe symptoms, but like he couldn't pass any of the tests because like, he just kept getting COVID. I'm like, that's crazy. 6 times?
But that was like literally at the height of the COVID.
Yeah, exactly. That was at the height of it all. But you still talking about like, I didn't have plans to be in Europe for, a year.
And on top of that, you got to go back to the States. You most likely was on vacation. You have a job there. And now it's
I mean, job didn't really affect me because, like, listen, everybody stopped working for a bit. Even essential, unless you were frontline workers, you were, there. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was considered essential, so I didn't stop.
That don't stop the landlord from banging on your door asking for your rent.
He sure didn't stop him. But I mean, it's just crazy, and listen, I'm hoping that the leagues. All leagues. I mean, even like I said, the leagues that I don't even watch. Not a fan of
sports everywhere.
I just hope that they all can understand. I mean, find out what's the best plan of action, moving forward. If more cases start happening or more variants start coming out that affects us, worse than the last variant, because Delta came out. Delta was pretty bad. Omicron, whatever they call it, is coming out, and now it's worse than Delta, and it's more rampant than Delta. It's spreading quicker than Delta. So it's like, league, what do we do? Are we ready to take on these new things? Like, are we ready? And if we aren't, what are we doing to prepare ourselves to avoid a shutdown? To avoid cancellations. Are we at that point? And once again, it's now or never, because if they don't think about it now, then they are going to be faced with cancellations and shutting down of the I think if the government shuts down in general, then everything shuts down.
Basically, yeah.
But if we don't get to that point, then once again, for the leagues to avoid being shutting themselves down, they need to just come up with the best plan of action.
But can you see, like, let's just use the NBA for an example, right? Can you see how the NBA bubble in 2020 was just a couple of months and it finished in October?
Yeah.
Can you see the players playing in the same area like Orlando for a whole year in a bubble?
No,
that can't happen.
Maybe NBA, because I mean, once again, it's set up perfectly for.
Yeah, but you're gonna stay in Orlando for almost a whole year.
I mean, it came with benefits. It came with benefits. My family was able to come. They went to
they were able to come when more teams started to leave.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about with all 32 teams playing in the bubble at that point.
There's nowhere that can handle that for that long.
Exactly. Paul George said he went through mental issues dealing with that.
Listen, I think honestly everybody went through some type of mental issues during that time.
And that was a couple of months.
Yeah, but it's still one of those things, are they preparing themselves to avoid something like that?
In the NFL, that's literally impossible to happen.
It's definitely impossible. There's, like I said, 55 people on one team.
Yeah.
So you just think about, okay, how do we have a bubble in Atlanta?
You can't.
You can't even do that with 4 teams, to be honest. You can't with 4 teams, because what hotel in close proximity of the stadium is there that we can hold one team? Two teams. Let me say that 2 teams, because you got to think about it. The home team, obviously, if you're in Atlanta, the home team, you can stay wherever you are, but you still because you still have to have them in sort of
some type of quarantine environment.
Because if you're home, I don't have eyes on you to see what you're doing every day, so I still have to have some sort of accountability for that team, for the home team. But then once again, you got 3 teams that come from Miami, LA, New York. Like, where do you house them?
Exactly.
So that, like I said,
but
there's no way.
But still, the NBA in itself would be harder. So even though it will be the least difficult of all the other leagues, it's still difficult in itself because remember in the bubble there were some NBA teams that didn't even participate at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's because that was towards the ending of it all. Where hey, listen, we're coming up to playoffs, and we already can see who's going to make it to playoffs. So you know what? We'll have the first 8, and
basically,
then whoever is potential to
10,
make it to
like 10 to 12.
Yeah, well, listen, you guys play, sort of that play-in tournament, and then whoever is able to make it in, then hey, listen, your team stays. But I mean, it was one of those things, and hey, listen, shout out to Adam Silver. He him and his team, they put together one of the best things they could have put together to make that bubble as good as they could.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, outside of the players being, in complete being in isolation for as long as they were able to actually finish out that season. And although that championship came with an asterisk, but it was still one of those things like, yo, listen, we were able to finish out the season. Yeah. And listen, like I said, man, shout out to that team. I mean, shout out to Adam Silver and his team for getting that done.
Because we got the play-in tournament of it. I feel like the play-in tournament was a good idea.
Yeah, it was. So we got one more topic, but I feel like we're running out of time. And I definitely we can definitely hold that for another day. But listen, man, we had a lot, we unpacked a lot, from Lakers to fakers, from fakers to Kyrie and his part-time job and
COVID protocol.
and COVID, man. It's been a lot. So I'm excited, to have been able to discuss this. So yeah, man. Listen, we get ready for the next one, man. We're gonna get ready for the next one real soon.
Yeah, we have to run this back again.
Listen, man, it's sports in general, man. You can go talk about a lot because there's a lot of sports,
so much,
and there's so many people within every sport. So there's just so much that you can bring up and we can discuss. So y'all stay tuned for part 2 of it, man. And listen, we're gonna end out with what I'm gonna listen. I know we talked about sports, but it's just something I like to do. Man, I shouldn't have this ready, but it's all right. I got it real quick. Yeah. But listen, I like to leave y'all with a quote, just something motivational and keep you guys going for the rest of your week. And it's a old African proverb that I heard one time, and I was like, man, it sounds dope. And so I'm like, yeah, listen, why not? But it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Think on that. But listen, man, don't forget, man. Comment, like, subscribe, not just to Just Talking with Jeffrey, but also to my boy Elo Speaks.
Make sure you follow me on YouTube, Elo Speaks. I have a lot more videos. I talk about basketball, football, MMA, all sorts of things on my channel. As regards to that, we have just like topics like this. I have all that on my channel, so just follow me on Elo Speaks.
Yo, and stay tuned for my next, episode. Got another guest coming up. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. It's gonna be surprised. It's gonna be real good. Always gonna be good with your boy Papa J. But yo, man, get at me.